Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and I help agencies, freelancers, and consultants land clients. If you are looking to slide into your leads' DMs, then there are a few things you need to know if you want this to work for you. So in this video, we're going to talk all about cold messaging on LinkedIn. We're going to talk about what you should say and what you shouldn't say. We will talk about the difference between LinkedIn InMail versus messages, and much more. And as always, if you scroll down below this video, I have left a bunch of links for you to other videos that I think you'll find helpful. All right, sound good? Let's do it. First, what are the options that you have when it comes to sending messages on LinkedIn? You actually have two choices here, so let's start there. First, you have your standard direct message. You can only send direct messages to people who you are already connected with, and these people are also called your first degree connections. So this means that either you sent them an invite and they accepted, or vice versa, and now you're connected. LinkedIn messages are private, so only you and your recipient can see them. On the other hand, you have LinkedIn InMail. Now, InMail allows you to direct message people who you are not yet connected with. So outside of first degree connections, this can mean second degree and third degree connections. However, this is a paid feature, so you have to upgrade to one of LinkedIn's paid plans or paid subscriptions in order to access it. Then LinkedIn will give you credits that you can use to send InMail. This was something that I tested out through LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I have a video on this, so that link is below. Spoiler alert, to me personally, it wasn't worth the investment, so I didn't keep paying for it. LinkedIn Outreach has continued to work like a charm for my students and I using nothing but a free account. You might notice that LinkedIn from time to time will give you free InMail credits that you can use. And if they're there, great, use them. But I would still suggest that first you send a regular invite to connect with that person. And then if they don't respond, use the InMail credits. But this was one of the reasons why I didn't continue investing in Sales Navigator, because having the InMail credits really didn't make all that big of a difference. If they're not going to respond to your invite, then they're probably not going to respond to your InMail. Does that make sense? All right, let's keep going. Next, let's talk about what you should say in your LinkedIn message. Let's assume that you're talking about cold outreach on LinkedIn, which means that you are messaging someone who is a total stranger. I want to repeat, you are messaging a stranger. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I write LinkedIn messages that actually convert. There are a few general guidelines that I strongly recommend you follow, and I'm also going to give you examples of each. So let's get into those. Number one, keep it snappy. Guess what people hate? Long DMs from total strangers. You, my friend, are a total stranger, and your leads know that you are reaching out to them ultimately to try to sell them something. They are not going to take kindly to a message that is a giant block of text. Only say what you absolutely have to say. Okay, this usually means very quickly telling them who you are and why you're reaching out. I typically say something like, I am reaching out because my content agency is interested in blogging for brand name. I put the brand name in the message. I don't give any additional background information yet. Not yet. It's too soon. Number two, customize your LinkedIn messages. I'm going to give you a little tough love here. If you are too lazy to spend an extra second personalizing the first name of the recipient, then you are too lazy to land clients. It's that simple. Your leads are going to know if they are receiving the same message that everybody else received. It's very obvious, and they're not going to be receptive to that because they're going to feel like a number, like you're treating them like a number. Treat them like a human being because they are. Address them by their name. Some people will take this one step further and add more personal touches like, I really enjoyed your LinkedIn post on X, Y, and Z. Great idea. Personally, I don't do this because for me, in my case, I didn't find that it made much of a difference. It was just an extra sentence that I tested. I tested putting it in there and I tested not having it, and it didn't make a difference. So I eliminated it to save myself a little bit of extra time, but I tested it first. Some people swear by that approach and they do it with every message. You do you. But at the bare minimum, it should have their first name. Number 3, ask for permission. Let me explain what I mean by this. I never say anything like, let's set up a call, tell me a good time for you. Instead, I'll say something like, is this something you would be open to discussing more? I'm asking for my lead's permission to continue the conversation. And this, in my opinion, is just common courtesy. While you do want to gently nudge the conversation forward, you also don't want them to feel like you are pushing them or forcing them or breathing down their neck. So this is my way of saying, hey, I'd really love to chat with you. Is that okay? Can we talk more? Number 4 includes some sort of CTA, call to action. Very often when you are asking for permission, it's going to automatically double as a CTA, but not always. If the latter is the case, then you want to make sure that you include a sentence that in some capacity encourages the lead to engage back with you and respond. I will very often say something like, would it be okay if I emailed you to talk about this more? In that case, I'm both asking for permission and I'm including a very natural, seamless CTA, which is I'm asking for their email address. Number 5, follow up gently but persistently. This isn't about bugging your leads. Nobody likes that. However, they are probably overwhelmed, they're probably busy, and it is very easy for your message to be missed. So we're going to give them a little gentle nudge. My students and I follow up every 2 days, twice total. So that means 3 messages total. You have the initial cold message and then you have 2 follow-ups. So again, that happens every 2 days. Full disclosure, I know people who follow up way more than that. I know people who follow up 10 times. I'll always tell you what I know based on my own experience, and based on my experience, it doesn't work. If they're not going to respond after 3 messages, then they're not going to respond after 10. I'm always drilling into my students quantity and quality. Honestly, I would kind of take it as sort of a red flag if it took 10 attempts just to hear back from a lead. If they can't reply a little sooner than that and their communication is that slow, I'm not sure that's a relationship I would want to pursue anyway. It's no offense to them, but it's like they're either interested or they're not. So we follow up a few times. It's very necessary because a lot of the time, one cold message isn't going to be enough, and that's very normal. If you want to try following up more, go for it, test it, but this is what I've found. 3 is a good number for me. After that, I move on with my life. Now, I want to give you a word of caution about automating your LinkedIn messages because I've noticed over the last 6 months, I'm getting more people asking me about this, about automating the process. This is really important. With the rise of both laziness and technology, laziness doesn't have to be a bad thing. It is a part of this, I believe. So, with all of us looking for ways to do things quicker and with technology meeting those demands, automation is becoming very popular. And in some cases, automation can be a really, really, really good thing. It allows you to, do things a lot more efficiently, which is awesome. But there are some things that you just don't automate. Now, in the context of LinkedIn messages, when we're talking about automating, what you would normally do is manually log into your LinkedIn account and you would write up a message and send it to your lead. Automating that means you're going to pay a software or tool to do it for you. So you will likely have to sign into that tool using your LinkedIn credentials, your login information, and then the tool will integrate with your LinkedIn account and it's going to send messages for you with your name on them. Here's the problem with automating your LinkedIn messages. This platform, all of the platforms really, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, everything, they prioritize genuine, authentic, real, honest to God relationships and conversations. These are networking sites. They want you to be networking with people. So if you're doing anything to fake that engagement, you can get in trouble. In fact, most of these tools go against platforms' terms of service. This was something that came up in one of my other videos about LinkedIn engagement pods. Engagement pods or engagement groups or however you want to name it. If it looks like poop and smells like poop, it's poop. These things are bad for your profile. Any tool or software or pod or group that you're using to try to fake engagement, fake conversations, fake relationships go against the terms of service. Furthermore, they don't work. I'll link that video on engagement pods below. Go check it out. I'm ranting here. So long story short, or long story long, using these tools can get your account suspended and permanently banned. Boo, we don't want that. Now, while having software magically send messages for you sounds really nice, which I agree, it sounds amazing, I will still encourage you to go the manual route. Doing it manually is the safest way to do it. Now, I'm not telling you you have to do everything from scratch. My students and I have a few templates that we work from, and we use those templates to send our messages, but we personalize them. So we're never starting from scratch, and that right there saves us time. And another reason you really don't need to be using these tools to begin with is because you don't need to be sending hundreds or thousands of messages to land clients. It just doesn't take that much. If you are prioritizing quality right next to quantity, you do not need to send that many messages. Yes, it's partly a numbers game, but that's just part of it. And like I've always said, I've said it 1,000,001 times, and I'm going to say it again. Sending more messages, more and more and more, and the same goes for cold emailing, is not going to tip the odds in your favor if the messages that you're sending are low quality. Quantity will never make up for quality. That's why I say it's only partly a numbers game. Nothing ever replaces quality. Period. End of story. Don't at me in the... You know what? At me. Fight me on it. You're gonna go down. Don't automate this process. Seriously. I want to leave you with this. A lot of professionals that I talk to are in such a hurry to land clients, which I totally get, especially if you're in a place financially that you're feeling the pressure. I've been there many times. But don't let that feeling of desperation be what drives you, okay? I know you might feel desperate, and I get that. I have felt desperate many times, but desperation is only going to breed more desperation. Fear only breeds more fear. The intention that you bring to the actions that you take partly determines the outcome of those actions. So when you are reaching out to people, even if you're saying these words in your mind and you don't totally believe it yet, repetition is going to help you believe it. I want you to say to yourself, I really want to work with these people and I think I can help them. This would be an amazing partnership. I think we could do great work together. Say things like that in your head as you are sending these messages. That is going to shift your mindset, shift your intention, and it's just coming from a place of service. This is something else I've started drilling into my own head. How can I serve others? When you do that, it all comes back to you tenfold, including the money. Okay? I hope you found this helpful. Like I said, I have a bunch of videos below that you're probably going to be interested in if you liked this video. By the way, if you did like it, please give me a thumbs up and support my channel. If you need more help landing clients, then I'm going to drop the link below to my program Revenue Spark, which is where I teach agencies, consultants, and freelancers how to land clients. You can go to that link, check out the course curriculum, view a few testimonials, and if you're interested in possibly moving forward, you can book a call to talk with me. All right? Thanks so much for hanging out with me. As always, I'm happy to have you here. If you have any questions, just drop them in a comment below, and I'll see you next time.